I felt those tiny fingers wrap around my thumb like they were made for me. The grip was surprisingly strong for a 6-month-old. And those eyes, God, those eyes. Hazel with that single fleck of gold in the left iris, the exact same as the one staring back at me from every mirror I've ever looked into. But listen to me, listen close, because I'm only saying this once, and only to you. I had never been pregnant, never carried a child, never felt life move inside me, never pushed anything into this world except the air I was holding in my lungs right then. And the man standing 3 feet behind me in the dark penthouse, the man whose name makes CEOs cancel meetings and politicians check their phones, Victor Kane, just smiled like a god who had finally finished his masterpiece. "She's here, little one, your mother." My knees almost gave out. The city lights 42 floors below blurred into streaks, and all I could think was, I have to know what the hell he did to me. But I'm getting ahead of myself. To understand how any of this could happen to someone like me, you have to go back to the girl I was 18 months ago, the one who still believed good things happened to good people if they just worked hard enough. I was 24, small-town Ohio girl with a communications degree that felt like a fancy receipt for $87,000 in loans, 2 part-time jobs, ramen for dinner 4 nights a week, and the constant feeling that the future had already left without me. When the LinkedIn message popped up, confidential PA role, Victor Kane Enterprises, salary starts at $180K, extreme discretion required, I laughed so hard I cried. Then I applied anyway, because what did I have to lose? The interview was on the 42nd floor of the Kane Tower. Glass walls, city sprawled out like it belonged to him. He didn't shake my hand right away. He just looked at me, really looked, like he was reading code only he could see. "You have kind eyes," he said, voice low and warm like expensive whiskey. "That's rare." I blushed, actually blushed. By the end of the 20-minute conversation, he offered me the job on the spot. I cried in the elevator on the way down. I thought I'd won the lottery. You know that feeling when someone powerful sees something in you that you never saw in yourself? When the world has spent years telling you you're average, and then this man, this myth, says, "You're exactly what I've been looking for." That was Victor Kane to me. The first 3 months were magic, or what I thought was magic. Mornings started at 6 a.m. with his schedule. I learned his coffee order, his tells when a deal was sour, the way he rubbed his left temple right before he destroyed someone in a negotiation. He confided in me about his wife who died young from cancer. No children. The empire feels hollow without someone to leave it to, he told me once on the private jet over the Atlantic, just the 2 of us. He poured me wine, brushed a strand of hair from my face. "You're the only one who understands, Sarah." I laughed softly. "It's not Sarah, it suits you better," he said, smiling. "Princess, that's what you are to me." I let it go. It felt intimate, special. Those late nights in the penthouse office, city lights twinkling below like scattered diamonds, the smell of his sandalwood cologne mixing with fresh printer ink. Sometimes our hands would touch, reaching for the same tablet. He never pulled away first. I started staying later than I needed to, started dreaming about him. But there were cracks, tiny ones you ignore because you want the dream so badly. The mandatory executive medical, 2 weeks after I started, Private clinic in the Hamptons. They took blood, ran every scan imaginable, even an ultrasound just to be thorough. I felt dizzy afterward. They gave me juice and told me to rest. Victor picked me up himself. "You did beautifully," he said, hand lingering on my lower back. I felt cared for, protected. That was the first seed. I didn't see it sprouting. 3 months in, I stayed late one night, needed a file from his private study. He'd given me the residence key card months earlier, for emergencies only. I heard it the second the elevator doors opened, a soft, fussy cry, baby cry, coming from inside the residence. I told myself it was the TV or a neighbor, but my feet carried me down the marble hallway anyway, past the kitchen that always smelled faintly of fresh bread, to a door left ajar, soft blue nightlights spilling out. Inside, a white crib with silk sheets, a mobile of tiny silver stars turning slowly, and in the crib, a baby, tiny, swaddled tight, dark hair, sleeping now, the cry gone. I backed out so fast I almost tripped. Next morning, he acted completely normal. I said nothing, but that night in my apartment, I couldn't sleep. Victor Kane had no children, no siblings, no mention anywhere. I checked. 4 months in, I found the blanket, soft cashmere in the back of his Maybach while I was organizing for a trip, monogrammed LK. I held it up. He saw. Face didn't flicker. "My sister's kid," he said smoothly. "She visits sometimes." He has no sister. I'd read his entire confidential bio. I let it go. Again. The phone calls started around then. He'd step into the other room, voice low. The project must remain contained. No leaks, ever. Once I heard, "The baby needs to stay invisible until after the launch." I asked casually over lunch the next day. He smiled, eyes cold for half a second. "Just business, Sarah. Nothing you need to worry about." The dizziness episodes started after that, random. After coffee he brought me, after wine on the jet, I'd wake up in my bed with no memory of the ride home. "You fell asleep at your desk," he'd say, gently. "Driver took you. You work too hard, princess." I believed him. I was exhausted. The job was everything. 5 months in, I was in love with him. Quiet, aching love, the kind where you memorize how he says your name, where you wear the perfume he once complimented. He knew. The way he looked at me changed, warmer, hungrier, possessive. One night, after a gala, his hand rested on my knee in the limo. "You've become more than an assistant. You're family now." I didn't pull away, but I whispered, "I'm not ready." He smiled, that patient smile. "I can wait, forever if I have to." That night, I dreamed of a baby crying my name. The night everything shattered was a Tuesday, October 17th, merger closing the next morning. He called at 11:47 p.m., voice strained. "Bring the blue Zurich folder to the penthouse, now." I took a cab. Doorman nodded like always. The folder was heavy in my arms. The moment the residence doors opened, I heard the crying again, louder, desperate. I set the folder down, followed the sound like I was being pulled by invisible strings. The nursery door was open. The baby was red-faced, fists waving. I couldn't leave it crying. I picked it up without thinking, rocked it gently. "Shh, sweet boy, it's okay." It stopped crying instantly, looked up at me, and the world stopped. Those eyes, my eyes, the left one with the gold fleck, the tiny dimple that appeared when it smiled, the heart-shaped birthmark on the left wrist. identical to mine, the one I've hidden with bracelets since I was 6. My stomach lurched. The baby reached up and touched my cheek, like it recognized me. Then the lights came on. Victor stood in the doorway, sleeves rolled up, looking at us like we were the most beautiful thing he'd ever created. "Put him down," he said softly. I couldn't. The baby had grabbed my finger and was holding on like it knew exactly who I was. "Victor? Whose baby is this?" He stepped closer. Calm. Serene. "Ours, Sarah. He's ours." The folder slipped from my other hand, papers scattered across the marble like broken wings. We never. Your eggs, my sperm, the clinic in Zurich during the food poisoning trip. Remember how sick you were? That wasn't food, that was the retrieval. A surrogate carried him, paid $10 million to vanish. No records, no traces. Perfect. I staggered backward until my spine hit the wall, still holding the baby. It nuzzled into my neck like it had been waiting for me its whole short life. "You stole my eggs." "Such an ugly word," he murmured, reaching out to stroke the baby's dark hair. "I chose you, tested your DNA from a coffee cup you left behind. Perfect match across every metric I care about. Intelligence, health, beauty, kindness. You were the one, Sarah. But I knew you'd say no. You wanted the career first. So I gave you both, the empire and the heir, without the mess of pregnancy, without stretch marks or mood swings, or any of the things that could have taken you away from me." The repulsion hit so hard, I almost dropped the baby. This man I had trusted with my entire life had reached inside my body while I was unconscious and taken pieces of me, created life from me without my permission, hidden it, watched me every single day knowing what he'd done. But that wasn't even the worst part. He had been planning it for over a year, before the job offer. My old college ancestry DNA test, he'd bought the company quietly and pulled my file. The job was created for me. The medical exam was the harvest. The dizzy spells were low-dose sedatives to keep me compliant and unquestioning. The late wife story was theater to make me want to heal him. I finally set the baby down in the crib. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely let go. "I'm leaving right now, and I'm taking him to the authorities." His laugh was soft, almost tender. "And tell them what, princess? That you signed the donor consent forms? The ones with your fingerprint and signature from the night you passed out on the jet? The clinic is mine. The records are ironclad. And if you try to run..." He pulled out his phone, swiped once. Videos of me asleep in his guest room. Videos of me in the limo with his hand on my thigh. "I can make you look like the obsessed assistant who tried to trap me with a fake pregnancy story. Your family will believe me. Your future will be ash. But if you stay, we can be a family. The three of us. The way it was always meant to be." I ran anyway, out of the penthouse, into the freezing October night. Called my best friend from college. She picked me up at 4 a.m. We drove to her place in Jersey. By 10 a.m., my bank accounts were frozen. My apartment lease had been terminated for cause. My phone showed constant location pings. Victor's text came at noon. "The baby cried all night for you. "Come home, Sarah. He needs his mother." I went back, not for him, for the baby, because those few minutes holding him had already rewired something ancient inside me. That's the part that still makes me sick. He didn't just steal my genetics, he engineered the perfect trap. Biology and blackmail and love, all braided into one unbreakable rope. The next weeks were a fever dream of revelations and false hopes. I thought maybe I could sue quietly. His lawyers showed me the documents within an hour. My name on every consent form, my blood work, my signature, shaky but there, from the night I'd apparently been too sedated to remember signing anything. I thought maybe the media would believe me, but every journalist I reached out to anonymously suddenly went dark. One actually replied, "I like my career. Kane owns half the outlets that matter." I raged at him one night after the baby was asleep. "How could you do this to an innocent person, to me?" He looked genuinely puzzled. "Innocent? I elevated you. I gave your life meaning. This child is the ultimate expression of my love for you, a love so pure I refuse to wait for your permission." The moral rot of it. He truly believed he was the hero of this story. There were moments I almost broke. One night the baby had a fever. Victor was in Tokyo. I stayed up rocking him for 6 straight hours, singing the lullaby my own mother used to sing to me. When the fever broke at dawn and he smiled up at me with that dimple, I cried so hard I couldn't breathe. In that moment, I almost forgave everything. Almost. But then I found the folder labeled Project Legacy. Inside, my full genetic profile, notes in Victor's handwriting. Sarah, ideal vessel. Kindness gene expression exceptional. Proceed regardless of consent risk. Photos from the clinic of me unconscious on the table, legs in stirrups. Dates, times, my egg count, fertilization success rate, 100%. That was the night the last piece of me that still trusted him died. 6 months later, right now, the baby is crawling, pulling himself up on the crib rails, saying "Mama" clear as a bell whenever he sees me. Victor taught him that from day one, played recordings of my voice on loop while I was still oblivious. "Mama is coming. Say Mama." I smile when the hidden cameras are watching. I change diapers, I sing lullabies. I let Victor kiss my forehead and call me the mother of my empire. But every night after the baby is asleep, I sit beside the crib and whisper the truth into his tiny ear. "One day, little one, one day we'll both walk out of here." I know it's a lie, because every time those eyes, my eyes, look at me, the bond he forced pulls tighter. I'm addicted to the weight of him in my arms, to the way he calms only for me. Victor didn't just create a child, he created a chain made of my own DNA. And tonight, at 3:33 a.m., the baby woke up crying again. I went in, picked him up, his fingers wrapped around my thumb, exactly like the first time. He smiled with my smile, looked straight into my soul. Victor stepped out of the shadows behind me, voice soft as velvet. "See? He knows exactly who you are now." I turned, holding our son against my chest, and for the first time, I didn't flinch when Victor's hand rested on my lower back. Because the horrifying truth, the one that keeps me awake long after the city quiets, is this: part of me doesn't want to leave. either. The baby nuzzled closer and whispered the only word he knows, "Mama." And in that moment, I understood what Victor had hidden from his innocent assistant all along. Not just a secret baby, but the fact that I had become the mother he always planned for me to be, whether I chose it or not. And now the cage is warm, and the cage has my eyes, and the cage is smiling at me. If you're still here with me, listening to this at whatever God-forsaken hour you found this video, thank you. You're the only soul on earth who knows the whole truth now, the only one I trust with it. Some stories don't end, they just burrow deeper. If this one wrapped its fingers around your throat the way it did mine, if you felt that sick, magnetic pull to keep watching, even when every instinct screamed to click away, then you already know what comes next. Hit subscribe, because the next confession I'm ready to whisper at 3:33 a.m. is already waiting in the dark for you. And trust me, darling, this one might be even worse. Sleep with one eye open, because some billionaires don't just take your time, they take everything, even the parts of you that haven't been born yet. Good night.